jumping right in, I am going to start with a review for most of everybody of the ways in which Google has been pushing towards automation in most every aspect over the last few years. Starting us out with the end of third-party cookies. This has been on everyone's mind for quite some time now, and Google's official statement as of right now is that they will be phasing out third-party cookies in Chrome by 2024. Both in and out of the ads platform, Google has been working on several privacy-preserving alternatives for advertisers, which we expect to rely heavily on automation tools, including why we're all here today and what we'll be diving deeper into a little bit later, Performance Max. Before we get too far into that, though, just wanted to talk through some of the other things that they've been rolling out and that drive towards automation in general. So starting out with manual bidding. A huge push towards automation has been the recommendation to phase out all manual bidding strategies in your accounts. These recommendations aren't anything new, but it has been hinted that the manual bidding option will fully sunset at some point this year. The good news is that even without manual bidding, there's still plenty to optimize within the campaign so that we can still control spend and efficiency and not hand over the keys completely just yet. In order to maintain a solid grasp on your bidding strategy as that does get phased out, if you haven't already done so, it is now time to familiarize yourself with the current automated bidding strategies available and determine which are best suited for the overall business as well as the individual strategy of each campaign. Again, most of this is probably not super new to most of you, but I do want to go through the current options that are available to us right now. So maximize clicks. Fairly self-explanatory there. The machine will work to get you as many clicks as possible within the budget parameters that you have set. Target impression share allows Google to be flexible with the bids and increase as necessary to reach the impression share targets that you set for your campaign. Target CPA and target ROAS are both used when efficiency is your goal. So setting bids appropriately to keep either that cost per conversion down around your target or ROAS to a specific return value that you set. Maximize conversions is put into place when you want to tell Google to use its learnings to determine the users that are more likely to convert. And then likewise with maximize conversion value, it uses that data and machine learning to determine the users that are likely to actually spend more when they do convert. One of the biggest things to keep in mind with this strong push towards automation is that not every improvement is going to be relevant for every account. We often see optimizations listed that may make sense for non-retail accounts recommended for our retail brands, which we know would result in poor performance. This is why we strongly recommend against the setting that allows your account to auto-apply these recommendations after 14 days. If you haven't seen it yet, you can find this under the recommendations section within the ads platform. The one additional major automation recommendation that we haven't touched on and don't really plan to dedicate much time to today is automatically created assets that we have listed here, which allows Google to create additional headlines, descriptions within your RSAs based on the landing page content, your existing ads, and your keywords. Additionally, this setting also allows for automatically created videos using images and other content in your account to be enabled in your Performance Max campaigns. In theory, this could have the potential to be more impactful in the future, but so far, in my experience at least, it still leaves a lot to be desired. The generated copy and creative tend to be a little bit clunky and less cohesive with the rest of the ads in the account. I highly recommend keeping this turned off as well as the auto apply feature for the time being at least. All right, so moving along into automated campaigns. Performance Max is the latest and greatest that we have been hearing about for quite some time. This campaign type was first introduced in 2021, but as we all experienced, it was not quite ready to be the one-size-fits-all campaign we were promised. It's taken some time, but Google has steadily released additional features and settings which have allowed these campaigns to perform much more closely to the intelligent solution they were introduced as, but still very, very much require the management and oversight of a PPC expert. We also want to talk through when and how to implement it in your own accounts, and share some of our own personal learnings that we've discovered through testing over this time period that we've been testing out Performance Max. So with machine learning, the more accurate information you feed it, the faster you feed it, the better results you will get. When you have an account with a larger budget and more SKUs, the machine just has so much more to work with. And in turn, the better your campaigns will perform. Through our testing, we have learned that the most successful PMax campaigns have been in clients with competitive budgets, large and well-maintained product feeds, visually appealing creative, and lots of conversions. The more conversions the account records, the faster the machine can actually determine the factors that those conversions have in common, and then use that to target more aggressively. Performance Max always works better when you have a very specific advertising and conversion goal in place. On the flip side of that, while campaigns can still be successful, we proceed with a lot more caution when it comes to accounts with more limited budgets, SKUs, and creative available. This is purely due to the nature of machine learning. If we aren't feeding the data, it has a lot less insight into what will work when trying to intelligently spend your money, and it requires much more oversight to run those campaigns.
There's a quick little question about when we were referring to the budgets. What's a large budget? What's a limited budget? Can you kind of provide a bit more clarity into that?
Honestly, that to me at least is very determined on the industry that we're trying to advertise in. That's why I use the word competitive budget, because in some specific industries, a $5,000 budget might be plenty, whereas in others, that's going to be like the bare minimum you could even start advertising in that space. So unfortunately, there's no hard and fast answer that I have for that one, because it really is super dependent on the industry and the space that you're trying to advertise in. When reviewing the build details of the campaigns, there are quite a few things that we can provide during creation to set the campaign up for success, and additional testing we can do to help boost performance along the way. A few things that we have found to make for a more successful Performance Max strategy starts with utilizing every available creative field, adding the maximum number of headlines, descriptions, images, etc., gives the campaign more to work with when attempting to find those winning combinations. Additionally, including as many of those audience signals that Jeremiah mentioned as possible will help guide the campaign towards your ideal customer. It is going to expand upon what you provide, but it's helping guide in the right direction from the start. So it just has to do a little bit less learning. Last piece for this particular slide is we also strongly recommend testing against seasonality and promotional sale periods to make sure we're getting the right message in front of folks at the exact right time. When implementing Performance Max for the first time, we strongly recommend that you do not pause your existing standard campaigns. A gradual transition protects your ad spend and overall revenue while Google begins to gather that data for your new campaigns. And it allows us to be highly strategic in planning by factoring in things like profitability and inventory. In short, keeping your existing campaigns live just allows for more flexibility in testing. All right, one of my final notes, and likely one of my most important ones when it comes to rolling out Performance Max campaigns, is to give it time. It's super important that you give the campaign a minimum of a month before making any major changes or deciding whether or not it's working for your business. While some accounts see incredible performance from day one, it's more likely that you'll see the efficiency of the campaign slowly grow over that learning period, and giving it more time will just allow you to get a clear picture of how successful these campaigns can be for your accounts.